1981. It was a big dream of my father's.
42 years ago, we started going up and down Impala Road from where we stayed in the south, and we used to go to shops and schools, and passing this mountainous area.
He would just look up to the mountain, and I could see in his eyes he was looking at his dream.
And the more I saw it, the more I really wanted.
How did it start? With just having a dream with my husband that whatever he plans will be done.
My vision here was, first of all, a place that I would like to stay, but also a place where we can create various businesses. Number one, a hotel scenario, and also to create a workplace for my children.
My favorite part of Thaba is having my kids close to me.
Me and Ruben sat down at exactly the same table, but it was somewhere else. We got a piece of paper and we started planning exactly like this. So we took the paper, we started creating all the ideas that we have, and there must be about 20 various businesses that we thought that we can do from here.
So it took my dad and myself 3 years to get to the point where we eventually discovered the core values of what we want to do with this incredible piece of land. And the three things that we decided on was, firstly, lifestyle for our family. Secondly, we wanted to be authentically green in a time when people actually laughed at you when you talked about solar panels and about alternative energies. And then thirdly, we really wanted to make a difference in our community. After all, our friends and family and colleagues said, why don't you take your investment potential to the north or to other places? But we felt that we were born in this area for a reason, and that's why we invested our lives into Thaba.
My father actually turned around to myself and Ruben one day and he said, all right, what are we going to do first? Are we going to build a restaurant, or are we going to build a venue to host weddings and functions? So I said, well, I've been in the restaurant industry. I think it will be easier just to start a restaurant. The restaurant didn't work as well in the beginning. We had lots of weddings in the restaurant.
It all started back in 2002. Ruben and myself, we were on our way to the movies, and Ruben was so excited to come and show me the first wedding that was taking place at the Kraalkom base, as it was known back then. And as we walked in, I just saw all the waiters running around, and it was a bit chaotic. And I said to Ruben, sure, where's the manager? And we actually went to the kitchen and we found the manager who locked himself in the office, and he wasn't present on the floor. And I said to Ruben, we can't go to movies, we have to sort this out. I immediately went home, got changed, went back up to the Kraalkom base and jumped in and started helping and sorting things out. Went behind the bar, serving drinks, serving wine, making sure the guests were all attended to and got great service. And I wasn't an employee back then, but I just had this gift of hospitality and just felt it was really needed for me to be here on that day. And obviously it was a godsend because my career at Thaba just took off. I've been here now for 20 years.
More than 20 years ago, this did not exist. It was a piece of sterile land that would burn down every single year with the veld fires. And just by applying a few principles like protecting the area through the establishment of proper fire breaks, over time, this is created that fits in so well with that initial dream of being authentically green. Of course, there are other things that we did that not only serves as our value, but also as an educational component. So for example, the architecture that we've got, half of our rooms float in the air so that the physical footprint is minimized. We also have earthworm farms, recycling, own composting, own mulching, and we're the only place in Johannesburg where you can go on an eco game drive. We specifically call it Eco Drive because we're not Big Five. We want people to get out of the vehicle and actually interact with nature and see how everything talks to each other, from the little insect to the eagles that visit us from time to time.
Thaba Eco Hotel is situated in the Klipprivier Nature Reserve on a 360 hectares piece of green, lush bushveld in Joburg. It's incredible. We started the hotel back in 2002. Back then we only had a restaurant, but with the vision in place that it would one day be a hotel. And we started with the Kraal Kombuis back then. The restaurant seats about 180 guests inside, going up to 220 with our gardens outside and kiddies play area for families. In 2005 we added on the church. We've got a cross inside, so for us it's very important that we stand up for our faith. Then in 2007 we added our first 16 hotel rooms, which was called the Kraal Kamer. Then we've got the conference center where we host our weddings. Upstairs we've got the Lobola Hall that can seat up to 450 guests. Downstairs we've got Tswana Hall, can take up to 100 guests with the beautiful Tswana gardens outside. We've got the Tswana Bar. We also have upstairs 8 conference rooms, ranging from executive boardrooms just to conference facilities and breakaway rooms. Currently we've got the 54 hotel rooms, ranging from just standard rooms all the way up to executive suites. And then we also have an on-site spa called Zinzanani where people can go for their day packages. We've got mountain biking trails, we've got hiking trails. We also a registered birding venue. We do lots of picnics, lots of proposals, matric dances, year-end functions, all kinds of celebrations. We changed our name subsequently from Thaba Botswana to Thaba Eco Hotel. And we just picked up that when we went to expos and exhibited our property that people would say, oh no, we're not interested in going to Botswana. And we're like, no, we're in Joburg, it's Thaba Botswana. And then people were still confused. So we made a name change to Thaba Eco Hotel. And since we've done that, the leisure market has just boomed. So if we think about what's happening in the world right now, it's the FIFA World Cup happening in Qatar. They were actually announced back in 2010. Thinking back when South Africa's name was drawn to host the World Cup, it was such an incredible time in our country. Thinking back to the Rainbow Nation, people were just happy and people were waving flags and it was vuvuzelas everywhere, and it was such a joyous time in this country's history. FIFA approached us. They needed accommodation for the team players. Obviously we situated close to the FNB Stadium, Soccer City, and we are so blessed that we could host the Mexican team. Remember the day they arrived, we arranged some dances, traditional dances for them, and they were blown away coming to Africa and seeing this different culture, and it was such an exciting time for us. The most memorable is the awards that we've won. In 2016 we won the Lelizela Award for the best 4-star hotel in South Africa. Subsequently in 2017 again, and then in 2019 once again.
And the winner is Thaba Eco.
We're also highly ranked on bookings.com. We're in the top 10 on TripAdvisor and have won numerous awards from TripAdvisor as well for service excellence. The rough period the world went through, it was a touch and go moment during lockdown where we had to decide if we were actually going to open up again. And that morning I was hiking with Bronte Ann, and we were in the reserve at the back. And as we were hiking, I just felt in my spirit that God said, we need to open up and we need to open up now. And literally within 3 days, we pulled together all the staff that was still employed, phoned them up, told them, hey guys, we are opening, we need you guys to come in, we need to clean up, we need to get ready. We know there's still restrictions in place, but my spirit, God just told me it's time, we need to open up. And I think for me that's a highlight, where you've put in your heart and soul into a business over 20 years, and you get to a point where you're in a crossroad and you can either turn left and give up on the stuff that you've worked on, and you can give up on the hopes and dreams and the people, or you can turn right and you can listen to your spirit and just try again and pick up the pieces and move forward. So I think for me in my 20 years being in hospitality, I think just opening up and the immense spirit of all the people, when we came in, it was incredible just to see everybody being happy to be back at work, wanting to participate, willing to do anything that they had to do to just make things work again. It takes a lot of people to make this engine run. I might be the captain steering the ship, but it's a lot of work is done in the engine room getting things ready on a daily basis. It's the unsung heroes in the background that one doesn't always see, doing all the hard work, the long hours, staying till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, doing turnarounds in venues, cleaning up for the next day and serving the customers. It's all about a team, it's a team effort, and you're only as good as your weakest link. COVID, we unfortunately had, like all businesses all around the world, had to let go of employees just to make ends meet and to navigate through lockdown. And we can proudly say that we've got more employees now after lockdown than with what we've had prior to lockdown.
Well, the biggest challenge is to continuously grow it. And for that purpose, I started talking to a company called Baldwin. That's one of the biggest developers in the country. And we're talking about a business center plus apartments.
The Thaba Eco Village that everybody sees driving on Klip River Drive right now. I'm not exactly sure on which unit, but I'm sure by up to now they've already built 300 to 400 units.
And that is going to be fantastic.
Looking into the future, there are two things that we want to achieve. On the one hand, we would like to complete the initial vision. And for that to happen, we have to take the hotel from a 52 to at least 100, maybe 120 rooms, so that more people can enjoy the incredible hospitality and environment that we have to offer. With that hotel, we will have a proper reception area, a waiting area, a big pool, a second restaurant, more facilities, conferencing and another banquet hall. And then next to it, of course, we would like to have the wellness and lifestyle center, which we are very excited about. Combined with that, we will be looking at our own product ranges where we use natural indigenous plants and the medicinal properties and health properties of those plants to create our own unique range and possibly make it available for the international market as well.
One of the things we still want to do here is a bridge that will connect us and the huge 800-hectare environmental park.
Thaba, it's just become everybody's dream. My children also are part of it. In the scripture, they do say many times you've hosted angels. So every person that comes to your home should be treated as such, special.
Looking back over so many years, I'm truly grateful for everything that we were able to achieve and for every single person who helped us on this incredible journey. There were some good times, there were some tough times, but with God's help, we really made it through it all. We're only halfway in terms of our vision. It's always been a long-term plan. And going forward, there's so much that we still want to do. We want to complete the hotel, we want to complete the wellness center, get protective status for the environmental park that we've got here, our eco park. We want to get an educational center, a stargazing site, recreate a farmstead that used to be here in the past. There's just so much that we want to do. I am confident that that verse that says that he who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. So with God on our side, we can go into the future regardless of what it holds and know that with him all things are possible. I want to take this opportunity as well to thank every single person who have helped us. Every manager, my fellow directors, my fellow shareholders, and every single staff member over the years for every single meal that you've served, every bed that you made up, every tree that was planted, every leaf that you picked up, every single action, regardless of how big or how small it is, helped us to get to this incredible point where we are today, where we are celebrating our 20th year since our first wedding many years ago in Kroll Restaurant. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you all, and let's go into the future together.